and make sure that you catch it here on SABC News. Of course, continuing, the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has rejected reports that he failed to take action on the VBS Mutual Bank saga, despite being alerted to the irregularities back in 2017. Well, according to media reports, a whistleblower told President Ramaphosa while he was Deputy President of the country about the looting at the bank, but the President took no action. In a statement, the presidency has labelled the allegation baseless and unsubstantiated. It says that President Ramaphosa has no knowledge of any meeting where he is said to have met any person associated with VBS Mutual Bank. Well, the statement further says that the VBS Bank saga was brought to attention of the president through official government channels, including the National Treasury, and only thereafter requested a comprehensive report on the matter. Well, the EFF is expected to hold a news conference today in which they will officially respond to allegations that Deputy President Floyd Shivambu allegedly received 10 million rand from his brother Brian Shivambu in the VBS Mutual Bank Scandal. According to a report entitled The Great Bank Heist, which was released last Wednesday by Advocate Terry Motau, in which 2 billion rand was lost through both corruption and fraud. Well, Brian Shivambu allegedly pocketed a whopping 16 million rand. The Shivambu brothers have denied all these allegations. Various companies, businessmen, ANC officials, and even the VhaVenda King were allegedly given millions by the VBS Mutual Bank executives. VhaVenda King Tony Ramabulana says that he will return 17 million rand that was given to him. Joining us now is political analyst Prince Mashele. He joins us as we unpack this. A very good evening, very good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Of course, the EFF has always projected itself as a party that is championing for the people. It is against looting. It is against corruption. Yet we find them in the midst and somewhat at the helm in this VBS saga.
Let's paint a clear picture in order to understand the EFF. Remember, the EFF is a child coming out of the ANC. So Julius Malema used to be president of the ANC Youth League. Floyd used to be its spokesperson. So here is the clear situation. The ANC is a university of corruption. The EFF are its graduates. So what you see in the EFF is what they learned in the ANC. So even the response is predictable. I can assure you, when they hold their press statement, this press conference this morning, they will actually dismiss and deny everything, even though the public knows exactly what happened. So that's the context of the EFF. The EFF is a rogue party. It is a party that was formed to perpetuate looting by Julius Malema, Floyd, and those around them. You will recall that before they formed the EFF, they actually collapsed Limpopo, an entire province. Actually, Julius Malema made history at the time. He and Castle Matale, who was premier of Limpopo at the time, collapsed the finances of an entire province called Limpopo, to the extent that it was taken over by the national government. Now, fast forward to when they formed the EFF. They projected themselves as champions against corruption. Why? They read the national mood and understood that South Africans were sick and tired of corruption. So they reinvented themselves to project themselves as champions against corruption. But at the core, these are corrupt fellows who were well trained in the ANC.
There's a very strong statements coming from you on the EFF and what, of course, it's based on. But let's get back to the press conference that is set to take place this afternoon. Initially, the report was released last week, Wednesday, and yet we're only seeing official word from the EFF as a party today, Tuesday, nearly a week later. Why have they taken so long to respond?
No, that's not correct. The EFF did respond via Dalimpofu. I saw him on ENCA.
An official press conference
where
we're allowed a Q&A.
He is an official of the EFF. And his response was dismissive. When he was asked about the money that Floyd Shivambu allegedly received, 10 million rand, this was his response. He said that his sister gave him 20 rand last week. And there was no discussion at the EFF about his 20 rand.
We heard that response, but now there was another newspaper article that was released over the weekend. Initially, the reports had only been relating to Floyd Shivambu and his alleged links with his brother as an individual. But now there have been reports of this 1.3 million rand that was given to the EFF. Hence now we only seem to be hearing some sort of response from the EFF as a party today. Yeah,
look, they were still cooking the story. Remember, they were actually held unaware. They were actually held unaware. They were found unaware when the reports came out. So they needed to wait to see how South Africans are reacting. Now they know that South Africans have reacted. So they have now formulated a position to try and respond to all the questions that the public has asked. So I think that what we must expect, it's spinning on the part of the EFF, trying to respond to the public concerns that have been raised.
No, we saw the EFF put a lot of pressure on ex-Finance Minister Nhlanhla Nene for him to step down during the State Commission of Inquiry around issues of whether he's ethical, whether he's a minister that South Africa can trust in the cabinet. Do you think that EFF will heed the call to the same pressure to possibly see the resignation of their Deputy President Floyd Shivambu and his alleged links in this scandal?
Absolutely no way. Floyd Shivambu and Julius Malema are personal friends who have gone through a lot when they were expelled from the ANC. Without Floyd Shivambu and Julius Malema, there is no EFF. So there is absolutely no way they are going to let Floyd Shivambu go, because Floyd Shivambu is part of the heart of the EFF. Remember, it is not only Floyd who is alleged to have received money from VBS here. Even the EFF itself as a party is said to have received money from VBS. So if you want Floyd to go, even the EFF must go as a party because it is allegedly received money. That is not going to happen. What you are going to see, denials, denials, and denials.
Of course, Floyd Shivambu has given out an official media statement. It was released over the weekend. Of course, him denying receiving any sort of money, whether it was from the bank or through his brother or from his brother in the VBS saga. We've also then seen the DA come out and call for Floyd Shivambu to have a lifestyle audit.
Well, there's need for lifestyle audit. I actually don't understand why, given all what we have been through as a nation, the corruption under Zuma and all of that. Why to this day we don't have an act of parliament that makes it an obligation for every public representative to be subjected to a lifestyle audit? The DA must not be selective, because we actually don't know what is happening in the DA itself, because it governs municipalities and it governs the Western Cape. There could be corruption also in there. All public representatives must be subjected to a lifestyle audit, not only Floyd Shivambu, but that has to be processed through an act of parliament. If the DA is serious about that call, they must actually champion the passing of an act in parliament.
Yeah, same with VBS. There were also reports claiming that President Cyril Ramaphosa, back then he was the deputy president, knew about the looting at VBS. Of course, there was an alleged that he had met with one of the VBS shareholders. He knew, he was fully aware what was happening at VBS, and yet no action was taken. Of course, the ANC has denied this.
Yeah, but I believe it, by the way. Cyril Ramaphosa at the time was deputy president. He was deputizing a crook, President Jacob Zuma.
So you're saying you believe that the then deputy president of the time, President Cyril Ramaphosa, knew about the allegations at VBS?
I believe it. There is no way you could have acted, because VBS, in the context of what was happening then, was actually in cahoots with Jacob Zuma. So if you look at the reports and all the links that have been drawn, Jacob Zuma has been part of the VBS looting. Even the loan, inverted commas, that he got when he was in trouble came from that bank. So if Cyril Ramaphosa had done anything, his head would have been chopped by Jacob Zuma. So what would have been the logical thing to do for Cyril Ramaphosa, even if he knew, would be to keep quiet, because his boss was involved in the VBS looting.
So who do voters trust? Elections are coming up, next year, and we're seeing now, all these revelations coming through the State Capture Commission of Inquiry, and then now we have the VBS saga. Who do South Africans vote for? Who do we entrust? We're seeing auditors, huge companies, and individuals that we would never have expected to have come out. And it seems to have opened a huge can of worms.
Well, the question is, when the entire apple is rotten, do you still recommend that people must eat it? South Africa's body politic is rotten to the core. We have seen it. The EFF is rotten. The ANC is rotten. I believe the DA is also rotten. The voters must decide what they want to do with this bunch of politicians they have. Unfortunately, you can't go vote for a party that is outside South Africa. They will have to find someone in the South African political space.
Yeah, how do you think our young democracy is receiving what we see in government? We associate it somewhat to corruption, to looting, to ministers that are embroiled in sagas, whether it's been proved or not.
Here is the thing, and this is what South Africans must understand. In the early days of Mandela and the first term of Thabo Mbeki, we South Africans used to believe that we're some exceptional bunch, different from other African countries. Zuma made us realize that we are as African as any other country. So what we are going through, other African countries have witnessed before, and they are actually laughing when they look at us and they say, where is your exceptionalism? So we must understand that we are undergoing a process that other African countries have gone through, which is from the high moral ground to the fact that we are just as corrupt as anybody else, to political cynicism, and life is normal.
Thank you very much for your time. Some very brazen words from our political analyst, Prince Mashele, as we unpack the VBS scandal as well as the political parties involved. Also taking you through that prelude of that EFF press conference, their official response to them receiving 1.3 million rand as a party that is expected to take place just after noon this afternoon. Make sure you stay tuned to SABC News for that live coverage.